Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, so we know in the Middle East there's all kinds of turmoil. We know that Hamas attacked Israel, and all hell's breaking loose around the world. People are protesting, pro-Israel, pro-Palestine. The media is doing a great job of showing you bad crap happening against both sides. It's terrible. They're just playing with the people's emotions. They want to keep this war going, and the only way they can do that is show you crap against Israel and then show you crap against the people over in Gaza. Then people become divided, and then this is what you get. This is exactly what the media wants. It is not good. I don't support anything in which people are getting killed. But anyways, back to what's going on in the world of crypto as well as gold and silver. The last time I did a video, we saw that Bitcoin was starting to take off, and we know that it was saying high tide lifts all ships, and that's what we saw starting to happen. So will it continue or will it slow down? And is the turmoil in the Middle East doing anything to affect these markets? Let's get into this. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. So there's that old saying, which thing is the best to be invested in if the market crashes or if there's some kind of chaos going in the world. Usually a good measure is just watch how the markets perform whenever war breaks out somewhere or whenever something major happens to the market. There's always been a battle going back and forth between which one's a good store of value. Is it Bitcoin? Is it precious metals? Which one would outperform the other? Let's see here. We had Hamas attack Israel. And now last night we had Biden did an airstrike against Syria. Let's see if this is affecting the markets at all. So Bitcoin is going down. Not a whole lot, but it's still going in a negative. I like to see that rebound sometime today. Bitcoin is at one time hit 35,000, is now down to $33,818.29. Ethereum's at $1,781.62. XRP's at 54 cents. Solana is at $32.19. Cardano's at 28 cents. Dogecoin is at 6 cents. Polygon is at 61 cents. Polkadot is at $4.12. Litecoin's at $66.65. And Shiba is at 507. Terra Luna Classic doesn't go up or down enough to make a change to the numbers. That's why it's still 301. So Saitama the other day was at 2012. Just went down slightly, but it's still performing very well. It's down 1.38% over the past 24 hours. If we look over the week, you can see it's still up 6.22%. And if you look over the last month, it is up 58.67%. Was down here, now is up here, came back slightly. Over the last 3 months, you're looking at 51.42% increase. Look at this dip and starting to climb. Hopefully, it'll continue to perform very well. And here you go. Once the attack happened over there in Israel, and you have the missile strike against Syria, you can see where everybody turns to. They turn to precious metals. Gold is back up over $2,000. I remember when it dropped down into around the 1800s. What was it, like 6-7 weeks ago? And everybody was panicking. And what did I say? Don't panic. Stop panicking. You'll be fine. So people are turning to precious metals as they always do. Gold is sitting at $2,004.30 per ounce. So after the airstrike last night, you can see that gold got a nice little push. And we are now at, well, $2,016.30. It's continuing to climb. So most of you bought precious metals when I first brought it to your attention 2-3 years ago, and you've been collecting ever since. You should be happy. Look at gold and silver prices really start to change. They will continue to go up. Right now, they're trying to get us into war to keep our minds off of what's going on over here in the United States. Leave it to the Biden administration to find all kinds of excuses to dump money into other countries, to start a war, to do whatever it can to keep people from focusing on how bad the economy is. Look, even silver is now above $23 again. We're getting there. It'll get up around $25. Silver today closed at $23.05 an ounce. So I heard something ridiculous, and somebody said, hey, Bitcoin's going to go to $1 billion. I said, what the hell are you talking about? So we started to have a conversation, and sure enough, nobody should be surprised. This is what they do. They try to sucker you into these cryptocurrencies. So you got the lady that is the CEO, I believe, of Fidelity, claiming that Bitcoin will reach $1 billion. Let's hear what this guy has to say.
Being shared. Now let's dive into our breaking story of the day and discuss one of the largest asset managers in the world, which is Fidelity, currently controlling $4.5 trillion in assets under management, and their $1 billion Bitcoin price prediction, as well as their latest news with their ETF application. And shout out to their CEO, Abigail Johnson, who is considered the most powerful woman in finance, virtually the Larry Fink of finance as a woman, you know what I mean? Which is a pretty big deal. She is actually the granddaughter of the original founder of Fidelity. And if you don't know, now you know who that lady is on that thumbnail. But anyways, let's break this down, fam. News just in, Fidelity says that the Bitcoin price is heavily discounted. I'd have to agree with them 110%. Here's a brand new article just published. Fidelity revives their Bitcoin ETF prospects with updated app, breathing new life into investor hopes. All eyes on ETF. So let's break this down. As you know, ETFs are investment funds users can buy and sell on the stock exchanges, similar to individual stocks. They allow traders to invest in a variety of assets, including stocks, bonds, and in this case, the king crypto, Bitcoin. Let's go. ETFs are designed to follow the performance of a specific index, asset, or commodity. Bitcoin, as we know, gets more and more popular, and traditional investors and asset managers are eager to introduce a Bitcoin ETF to the market. We have the total addressable market sitting north of 700 trillion, and Bitcoin can't wait to tap into that. Let's get it. Bitcoin ETF would let the investors get involved with the famous crypto without actually owning it. This makes it easier for traditional investors to enjoy the crypto game. That's right.
Yeah, you love how they say that? Bitcoin ETF would let investors get involved with the famous cryptocurrency without actually owning it. Well, who owns it? Who's going to have control over it? You're better off just buying the cryptocurrency yourself. I never could understand why people did ETFs. Gold and silver has ETFs. You could buy shares in an investment into gold. But it was exposed a couple years ago that most of those ETFs that are out there don't have the amount of gold or silver to cover all the shares. So what are you buying into? They can just pay you back in cash. But what happens if the dollar collapses and they try to pay you back in that same dollar? What's the point? You want to have the precious metals yourself. Physically have it, physically own it. Don't buy ETFs. The same with cryptocurrencies. Why would you buy the ETF? Why don't you just buy the actual cryptocurrency itself? There's too many fees involved when dealing with brokers and financial firms and crap like that, when you could just go on an exchange platform and buy it directly yourself. But the smart investment is and always will be precious metals.
Bring it. Fidelity, the highly respected name in finance, has made a big move by updating its application. Fidelity's recent ETF update pays special attention to reducing the risks associated with Bitcoin ETFs. The crypto market is known for price swings, and Fidelity understands the potential impact on investors. Addressing these risks is crucial to making a Bitcoin ETF work well and last. The crypto community has been waiting eagerly, to say the least, for this Bitcoin ETF to become a reality for years. In fact, it's now been 10 years since the first ETF application got disproved by the SEC.
It would be weird for me to imagine people who are invested into crypto investors jumping around getting excited about an ETF when they know they could just buy the cryptocurrency directly and they would actually own it. So that's kind of weird to hear. The crypto enthusiasts are very excited about the ETFs. The only purpose for people to be excited is this would bring more people to the market. So I understand that part. But for them to be excited about investing into ETFs, I don't agree with that statement at all.
And even though the SEC has rejected the previous apps, the desire for an ETF tracking Bitcoin remains stronger than ever. A Bitcoin ETF offers a more stable, regulated way for the investors to join the crypto world. If you're not familiar with ETFs, they're like investment funds that you can buy and sell stock exchanges, similar, again, to individual stocks, allowing you to invest. So anyways, the institutional interests and regulatory shifts are amongst us right now as we're witnessing in real time. Recently, there was this awesome thread which was shared. It shows Fidelity manages $4.5 trillion assets under management with 43 million investors trusting in Fidelity. And they recently published a new research explaining why investors should buy Bitcoin. Here are 10 key takeaways why investors should buy Bitcoin by Fidelity. Number one, Fidelity finds Bitcoin is the best money. That's fact. It is perfect money. Quoting them here from their report, Bitcoin clearly possesses a lot of good qualities of money, combining the scarcity and durability of gold with the ease of use, storage, and transportability of fiat. And you compare that with fiat currency alongside gold, and Bitcoin is just superior, checking all of the boxes, making it a no-brainer. Next, they share, Fidelity explains the virtuous cycle of Bitcoin, quoting them again, this Bitcoin network competition is likely to result in a winner-take-all scenario as the network grows and becomes more valuable. And guess who is the winner that takes all? You guessed it, it's Bitcoin fam. Next up, they share, Fidelity compares Bitcoin to the wheel, quoting them again, the invention of the wheel represented an entirely new technology that, once invented, could never be reinvented. Similarly, never in human history had the problem of peer-to-peer electronic cash been solved until Bitcoin. Damn right, Bitcoin so innovative, it's a game changer. Fidelity is amazed that Bitcoin survived. Quoting them here, every minute, hour, day, and year that Bitcoin survives increases its chances of continuing into the future. People would probably underestimate all the negative events that Bitcoin has already endured. That's right, over 10,000 times the mainstream media has announced Bitcoin.
See, this guy is speaking away, but over here it shows you, look at, for Bitcoin, price has suffered multiple 50% plus drawdowns, many larger than 80%. Used on the dark web to illicit purchases. We know the SIM Bitcoin tokens have been confiscated by the FBI. These are some of the things that I was talking about. How they confiscated, how the FBI get it. So for people to say you're protected from outside entities, that's not the truth. The one problem that I had is that cryptocurrencies can be confiscated. So if they can confiscate your money in a bank, they could definitely confiscate your cryptocurrencies. Many large exchanges and services companies going bankrupt, banned in multiple countries. So it's funny how this guy's focusing on this, but for some reason glossing over this, created by an anonymous person whose true motive and any affiliation is unknown, has been labeled a fraud, Ponzi scheme, speculative gamble, remains the primary form of payment for ransomware attacks, has endured multiple forks in its code. So I love the fact that this guy's glossing over this, but its failure to respond or address this is very interesting because this is covering most of the concerns I've ever had.
Day and year that Bitcoin survives increases its chances of continuing into the future. People would probably underestimate all the negative events that Bitcoin has already endured. That's right, over 10,000 times the mainstream media has announced Bitcoin dead, right? With all the media FUD. Anyways, they also share Fidelity provides hard numerical data showing how secure the Bitcoin network is compared to other coins. Facts, quoting them here, in terms of sheer computational power required to alter the network's consensus, Bitcoin far exceeds any remaining proof-of-work competitors. And I heard Andreas Antonopoulos address the question like 5 years ago, can any powerful nation state attack and destroy Bitcoin? The answer, no, it's too powerful. The hash rate is too strong. The more you attack the Bitcoin network, the stronger it becomes.
That's false. Yes, they can. If you really want to screw crypto over, is close down every single exchange. Then how are you going to do transfers with your cryptocurrency? They forbid the banks to deal with them. If they close down the exchanges, who's going to run the operations that this network is performing on? There's no magical place out there that controls the network of cryptocurrencies that will continue to go without some type of maintenance. So if they close down all the companies, there's nobody there to do maintenance. Yeah, maybe you have a network, but for how long? Until it collapses.
has achieved what I call the escape velocity. Now back to Fidelity, they compare Bitcoin to the internet, quoting them from the report. The internet protocol suite, known as TCP/IP, is an open source based layer where apps on top which to be built. So owning Bitcoin would be akin to being able to own the base layer of the internet.
Yeah, but we have the internet of value or the internet of things coming up, which you got to understand that thing is terrible. This is a new type of internet in which they have the ability to erase people off of it and not allow you back on. No social media, no posts, and not just there, on your cell phones and your emails. This is how they're going to control what is said, freedom of speech, the whole 9 yards.
Internet. So how many of you hodl Bitcoin? Congratulations, because you own a piece of the internet. Only better. Also, as shared here, Fidelity writes, Bitcoin continues to dominate the market cap of all competing cryptocurrency tokens. That's right. There is now a 51% attack on the altcoin market as the Bitcoin dominance continues to climb.
Yeah, but most of those are institutional investors like Michael Saylor. They own tons of Bitcoin. So it's not the general public that owns a huge part of Bitcoin. It's those who are institutional investors. So it's one thing to go around and brag about how much of the market cap it actually owns, but it's a different situation when you do a breakdown and realize that there are a bunch of whales that own that cryptocurrency, and that's not where most of the general public is focused on.
And the Ether dominance continues to decline. I firmly feel Bitcoin is likely to outpace Ether this cycle, but let me know your thoughts, fam. And as they share...
No. Ethereum has a whole new wave of projects that they're working on. It continues to outperform every other cryptocurrency out there when it comes to projects.
Here, Fidelity agrees the Bitcoin is useful. It appears at this point the Bitcoin has found a role in the digital asset ecosystem as a scarce store value asset. At the very least, you're damn right. They also share, Fidelity concludes the Bitcoin should be considered first and separate from all other digital assets that have followed it. I agree there 100%. As Michael Saylor once said, there is no second best. And to watch or read this entire research study by Fidelity, check the show notes below the video in the description. Now for their billion-dollar price prediction. I'm not making this up. Again, don't shoot the messenger. People may comment, yo, you're crazy, JV, to even put out there that Bitcoin can reach $1 billion. Again, don't shoot the messenger. This is coming from Fidelity, one of the world's largest asset managers. We have Jurian Timmer, director of global macro of Fidelity, put forth the notion Bitcoin has the potential to reach $1 billion per coin in roughly 2 decades by the year 2038.
First it was, oh my God, they're going to reach 250,000. They're going to be the biggest coin. Then it was, oh, they're going to reach 500,000. Then 1 million. Then 10 million. Then 50 million. Now it's $1 billion. They just keep exaggerating this thing. Is it possible? Of course, anything is possible. But if all things are equal, if the world goes to a hell in a handbasket, then everything will end up on an even playing field. And that includes cryptocurrencies if they're even allowed to exist. Well, look at what we have here today. JP Morgan Chase stock slips after bank says CEO Jamie Dimon is selling 1 million shares of his own stock. So Jamie Dimon must know something that we don't know. It appears that he is ditching a huge portion of his stock. So that is 9% of his overall ownership in shares. It's worth $140 million. But I like how up there it says Dimon's stock sale starting in 2024. So it's starting in 2024. What does this mean? He's got other stocks he's going to sell. You guys got to really start paying attention when these huge execs start dumping stocks in their own company. That means they know something's coming up. Do as they do, not as they say. Invest in precious metals. So it's amazing to me how just a couple weeks ago, I had people inside my Facebook group talking crap about how gold and silver had dropped down and they were laughing about it and how crypto was starting to go up. I guess we shouldn't laugh at each other's downfalls when they start to lose value. We hope that everybody does good. But I keep telling you, this happens with gold and silver. It'll dip, but what did I say? Precious metals, even when it dips, even if it drops, it always quickly rebounds, just like they're doing now. Gold above $2,000. Silver above $23 an ounce. You should be into precious metals. Anyways, that's it for now. Look forward to your comments, and I will get back at you later. I'm out.